What's your niche? It's a very common question that every entrepreneur thinks of, every business thinks of. Who are we targeting? How's your offer positioned to target that niche? In this video, I'm going to talk about your offer, your niche. And it's not what you think it is. A lot of people just talk about men in their 20s or women in their 30s, or I help health coaches, or I'll help you lose weight. That's too simplistic. It's not going to work because it's not focused enough. So in this video, I'm going to talk about your niche, your offer. And if you haven't watched the previous video about the gap, go and watch it first because that's the starting point. And once you understand that, you can come back to this video and figure out what your real niche is. So if you want to know what your real niche is, watch this video till the end. Again, this is part of my paid course, so I'm giving this out for free. So subscribe to the channel and show some appreciation if you can. And if you have any comments, please drop them below.
All right, so we've already talked about the gap. Now let's talk about your offer. Now this is really important because what technology you use to build your website, how it looks and feels, that's all okay. But really what matters is the copy. What is it that your website is saying? So that's why we have to look at the business fundamentals first and say, hey, what are we actually selling? What do we want the users to actually do? So that's why we're looking at all this and looking at your offer, okay? So in this section, we're going to cover your niche, your ideal client avatar, and your message. Now this is really important. Again, your website copy, whatever copy you'll put on your website, whatever actions you're gonna make the users take on the website, it's all related to this. It's all related to your offer. So it's a good refresher. If you already know these things, still go to the course because there's some new I'm telling you, you'll find something that you've not thought about before. And it's always good to have all this information ready before you start building the website, right? So that's why we are getting into this. So let's talk about what a niche is and why does it matter. So traditionally, everybody thought of a niche as an industry vertical or profession, right? So either health coach or life coach or business coach. But that way, the spaces get crowded, you know? I mean, if everybody's a health coach, it's just too difficult to differentiate one service from another. And the thing is, if you're speaking to everybody, you're actually speaking to nobody, you know? So you have to speak to an audience, and that's why you need a niche. So if you're chasing two rabbits, you're not going to catch anything. So that's why you need a niche. Now, a good example of this is a generalist doctor versus a brain surgeon. So a generalist doctor will entertain everybody, he'll treat everybody, and he's not going to be really good at it, and he's not going to make that much money. But a brain surgeon who specializes in a very specific skill set is going to be way more happier with doing what he's doing. He's going to be way more specialized, he's going to make way more money, and he's going to appeal to a very specific set of audiences. And that's what you want to do, you know, especially in the coaching and consulting space and even the startup space. There's so many companies and so many people doing the same thing. It's very hard to differentiate yourself. So that's why you have to pick a niche, right? And like I said, as the industry grows, the challenges and the problems grow as well, right? The industry evolves and everything just keeps changing. So you have to change with the time. So as the industry grows, there are more opportunities, which means there is possibility of more unique solutions. So instead of just calling yourself a health coach, you could niche down and focus on a smaller market, but provide them with better service and actually raise your prices. And it's really important to scale. You know, if you're trying to serve everybody who's coming to you, your offer, your program, your course is going to be all over the place, so you won't be able to scale. Now let's take an example. So let's talk about the health coaching industry. So now, health coaching is not a niche really, it's an industry, it's an entire industry. And there are literally thousands, maybe millions of niches in that industry, right? And the way to think about a niche is there's a person who's your prospect. So person A, who is currently at point X, which is their current situation, like we talked about in the gap, and they want to get to point Y. That's the desired situation. That's all there is. And preferably in a given time frame, so in Z time frame. That's how you look at a niche. That's all there is to it. So when you're thinking about your offer, think about it in this term, okay? Where are your prospects right now? Where is their current situation, point X? Where is their desired situation, point Y? And what's the time frame, right? So let's look at a niche framework. So it's very, very convenient for me to tell you, oh, that's what you need to think about it. But is there a framework? Yes, there is. This is a framework you can use, right? So let's say you're a health coach. You say, hey, health coaching and a particular client's life event. So let's assume that you're dealing with women who have given birth to their first child and now they've gained weight. So all of a sudden, pregnancy and gaining weight could be a niche, yeah? Or it could be your client's personality or a particular characteristic. Or it could be a client's specific goal. So somebody wants to lose 20 pounds or somebody wants to gain 20 pounds. So it's a specific goal. So this is the framework, guys. So you just think about your service in this framework. So if you're a health coach or a business coach or a life coach or IT consultant, whatever it is there a particular event or a particular personality, a particular goal your ideal clients want? If that's the case, you can align yourself with that niche. And it's so much easier to talk to them because you know exactly what their problems are and can scale very, very quickly. And we need all this because if we know who our client is and what their life events are, or what their goals are, what their characteristics are, we could make our website that way so that it's more friendly and it's more actionable. So it's always better to have a particular niche defined. So let's look at some examples, and this is something that just to give you more clarity on this topic. So you could be doing health coaching for entrepreneurs who are struggling with generalized anxiety disorder, or for women over 60 who are struggling with a particular health issue, or you could be only working with women entrepreneurs who gave birth to their first child and get back to their online business. So there's so much you can do. You could be health coaching for entrepreneurs who believe the earth is flat. So there's so much you can do when you really dive deep and use the framework that I just discussed in the previous slide. You can really hone in on a niche and really narrow down your offer. And it's really, really helpful to build your website because you know what copy to put, and it's really, really helpful to scale. Now let's check out a worksheet, a niche definition worksheet, and what you need to do to move forward. So here it is, guys, and this is part of the downloads that you'll get. And let's look at it again. So again, I've put the main definition of a niche up top here and the framework. Now what I want you to do is, what type of service are you providing? Just type it in here, 2 to 5 sentences. You don't have to overthink this, but what are you really doing? So let's say you're doing sales coaching for coaches and consultants. That's all you can put. Whatever your offer is, whatever you're doing, whatever your service is, just put it down here. Okay. The next point is, what's the desired state your client wants to reach? This is really, really important, right? So look at your previous clients or do some market research, talk to some people. And if you have some clients who've actually given you reviews and testimonials, what was the desired state they reached? So where they were when they joined your program, what were they doing, what were they struggling with, and where did you help them to get to, right? So just write down 2 to 3 points. So I could write something like, they need help with framing of calls, so they're great at framing calls. And you could say they are making 5x money, 5 times the money, and they're more confident in their offer. So I know that people who I'm targeting, this is where they want to get to, right? Then in the next point, just write down the current state. So whenever you sign up a client, what kind of state are they in? What's the problem? What is your service doing, right? So what is their current situation? Where are they stuck? So I could say they get the objection, they always hear the objection, oh, it's too expensive, something like that. And maybe a few others, I can always write up here that they want to sell high ticket offers, And all this information is super, super helpful because this will help you write the website copy, right? So write down 2 to 3 points, and it should not take you more than 30 minutes maybe. Just look back at the clients you worked with. If you've already done this exercise, just copy paste it here. But if you haven't, just go back, look back at all the clients you worked with, and figure out what type of service you're providing. It's really, really important. Figure out what the desired state you take your clients to. So what is it that you're promising your clients? This is really important. And what is the current situation they are in? So before they start working with you, what kind of state they are in? Once you have this, you'll have a lot more clarity on your offer, and this will help you write amazing website copy.